Hey, you beautiful people. I hope everybody's having a good start to their week. It is Monday, and, it's all important having that Monday and starting the week off right. Because if you don't start off that week right, you're going to set a pattern, right? So let's have a little bit of a drive, a little bit of a commitment, which is what we're going to be talking about right now. Talking about committing or go home, in fact, because if we don't commit, what are we doing? You're committing every day, in fact. Every day you're making commitments. You just don't realize that you're doing it. And making those commitments is really important because there's a lot of things behind a commitment. If you don't commit, what's going to happen, right? How much commitment are you willing to give? How much commitment are you willing to give? How much commitment are you willing to put in? Yeah. What's on the line? What's on the line with that commitment? Is it making a commitment because you've got to get yourself out of trouble? Is it a commitment because you've got to want to earn a certain something or you want to own a certain something? Is there commitments to self? There's a lot of self-commitments that people do not do. They will commit to other people and other things and do not commit to themselves, especially when it comes to mental health. Mental health is one of those things that if you don't commit to it, if you don't go out there and you don't get the help, if you don't go and work on yourself and commit and make that commitment to self, then again, it's one of those, might as well go home. Because commitment to self helps you to see yourself so that you're able to see others, able to work within your environment when it comes to your mind. So, what's on the line? What's the end goal? Where's the end goal to your commitment? What is it that you're gaining from committing? And again, if you don't make those commitments, if you don't make those daily commitments, which you're doing every day, you don't even realize you're doing it, how are you expected to be able to commit to something that you know that you're committing to? Not the small things throughout your day that you just brush off. What about those goal setting things? What about those things to where we want to make that commitment? We want to make that commitment because it's somewhere that we want to go. So how much are you willing to commit? What's on the line? What's the end goal? The end goal is not always the prize. Remember that. The learning experience from committing to a goal and then the learning experience getting there is the beauty. That's where the lessons lie. And that only comes with making that commitment. So what's your fears? Where do you fear? What is it? What is it tapping into when you say, I want to commit to that, and a fear starts? What is the fear? What is it? Write it down. Write it down. Make note of what your fears are. Look at them. Don't run away from your fears. When we try to run away from our fears, we end up just riveting home the very thing that we're fearing. Commitment will help you through those fears. But what are they? What are those fears? Do you know what the fears are? Because a lot of us get those fears and we don't even know what the fear is. You do not gain in your confidence by avoiding. You do not gain in your confidence by avoiding. The more you avoid, the more you're making it louder that your insecurities, basically. Whatever your fear is, you're just making it louder, making it bigger. Avoiding, adding on to that, making that avoidance even bigger, making that fear even louder. That you do not want, right? You don't want to add more avoidance. You don't want to add more because you've avoided once, you've added more fear to the to the stack, so to speak, of your fears that you have, and now you're going to avoid even more. What is the point in avoidance? Learn your fears. I can pretty much kind of guarantee that most of us are pretty good in the walking department, right? Yes, there's some out there and very, very, very much less fortunate than us that aren't able to use their legs. And it's a shame. It's a shame that there's this kind of thing that happens to us out there. But you know what? What about other things that have come naturally? And what I'm going to talk about here is the walk-in process. The walk-in process. When you was a baby and less, again, born less fortunate, but when you were a baby and you wanted to walk, what did you do? I'm sure that you fell down quite a bit, but you committed. Why did you commit? Why, as a baby, did you commit? Maybe it was because you saw other people doing it, walking, right? Maybe it's the natural instinct of a human to want to get on their feet and walk. But there was a commitment by you as a baby, as a young toddler. There was a commitment by you to make it happen. How many times did you fall down? I know both my daughters had some very, very heavy falls when they were walking and then running. Both of them happened to be when there was a running going on. Well, one of my daughters there was a running going on and she fell and hit her head. And also my oldest daughter has been playing around and things and also hit the back of her. Funny enough, both daughters, same place near enough. It was crazy, in the back of the head. But I guarantee you fell down a lot. I guarantee you cried a lot. I guarantee that you hurt a lot. You crashed into things, ran into things, fell on hard surfaces. There's a reason why in playgrounds they put that little rubber matting stuff down, even though that burns like crazy. If you rub across it, you get a nice burn from it. But if you fall on it, it's a protection because they know kids fall. Just like as a baby, you fell and you knew what falling was. But what did you do? The brain took note of how it fell and what the balance was and the correction to that. The small little things that came along from making those falls by getting back up and walking, making the commitment. What about when you met a partner for your first time? What about that? How did you feel? I know it came with a big commitment with me. Huge commitment. I moved 4,000 miles away to be with my girlfriend, now wife. But it was a commitment. I said I'd never have kids. I would never leave London, not even England, wouldn't leave London. I said I wasn't ever going to leave London and I was never getting married. I said that. And that was a commitment that I had with myself. It was obviously a loose commitment, not solid. Make sure your commitments are solid because I tell you what, I've gone against every single one of them and my commitment changed. It's about knowing, seeing, changing, committing. You're going to fall down. You're going to get back up again. You're going to dust yourself down and you're going to say, right, where did I go wrong? Depending on how strong your commitment is. You make that commitment strong enough and it's going to outweigh your fears. And when that commitment, that goal, that drive outweighs your fears is when you will start moving forward. Better knowledge comes with committing. Yeah? Think about that. Better knowledge comes with committing. How do you learn? How do you know what to do if you don't commit? Right? Think about that. Better knowledge, more wisdom, be able to teach others. How many times have we, what I like to call bumps, the mistakes that we made on a journey, the commitments that we make, and we get to those areas where we make those mistakes. Bumps is what I call them. You can go over a bump, around a bump, or through a bump. But how many times have we looked back at some of those things, learnt by them, and now we find ourselves teaching somebody? Maybe it's a kid, a child. Maybe we're giving a little bit of a heads up. Hey, look, this is what happened to me. Maybe it's put you into a position like it has me, to where I'm able to work and do the work that I do. It's about learning from that, moving to your commitments, moving towards your goals, and not being afraid of the lessons that will come. Welcome the lessons. Welcome the bumps. If you don't welcome the bumps, how do you learn? How are you going to learn anything if you don't have the bumps in the way? These things are put there to test us. Trust me. I've had plenty of tests lately, especially when it comes to committing to working with my anger. Committing to self. How many of you are committing to self? How many of you are getting help with your mind? How many of you sitting there suffering, going through some heavy, heavy situations, and you're not willing to commit to go and get the help? You don't think about anything about spending on a gym membership that may not be even getting used. Maybe just sitting there, not even using it. How many commitments have you made where you're paying each month for something and you're not even using whatever it is that you're paying monthly for? Put that into self. Put it into self. Even though it's there for self, but obviously you're not committed enough. You've not got that drive enough. You've not got that peace. And you'll know, like I said, when you met your partner for the first time, how did you feel? How did you commit with that? Became a driver. Catch on to your drivers and move forward. Work towards the things that you want to gain. And the only way you can move towards the things that you want to gain is by commitment. People ain't going to like you committing. There's going to be people out there that are going to try and stop you. They're going to try and give you warnings. They're going to try and move you in a direction that they want you to go in. Maybe they've got their own insecurities and they're trying to put those insecurities on you. They're trying to pull you back for their own benefit. Don't listen to it. How strong is your commitment? It's just like the child walking. Keep that child in a chair and don't allow them to move around and feel their feet and get their balance and move into that area of where, they're going to make those mistakes. They're going to fall down and it's going to happen. But you're not allowing them to grow. You're not allowing them to learn. You're not allowing them to fall down and their mind able to pick up on the small differences to change, to be able to walk. They'll never walk. It's a commitment. It's a commitment. Allow those commitments to be fun. Allow those commitments to be those things that we want to go towards for self-improvement, as in committing with self. Allow those commitments to grow and expand, as in a journey, as in something that you're doing like I'm doing right now. This is all expansion. This is all growth. This is all moving forward. This is a commitment. Committing to something that I don't even know if this is going to go out there correctly right now. I've committed to doing this. I'm not even sure if this is going to go out right now because I'm learning. I want to know. I want to commit. I want to be better. I want to grow. I want to expand. I want to reach more people. I want to build a community. I want people to see themselves. I want people to be able to have a better mind. I want people to be able to see their anxieties and their depressions and their mental health and know that they have that control. I want people to see that. So I make a commitment. I make a commitment. There are some times when you may get up in the morning, you're not feeling very good, going into your work. But you know what? Make the commitment. And I don't mean like being sick. If you're sick, you're sick. Fair enough. But if you're just dragging feet, dragging ass, or you're like, oh, I don't really want to do this. We all get there. We've all been there. But you know what? Make the commitment. Make the commitment at that point in time when you start thinking that. Make the commitment to change the narrative that you're telling yourself. Be grateful and thankful that we're able to do what we're doing. Be grateful and thankful that we're able to go forward, because many, many people ain't. There's always someone that wants your spot. Always someone that wants your spot and willing to commit to get there. Willing to commit to get there. If a boxer or any other athlete, especially in contact sport, doesn't look and find out where they went wrong from the last time, even if they won, there's always mistakes that's being made, bumps that's being made. But if they're not willing to look and learn, if they let their ego get in the way and say, I don't need to practice, I don't need to train, I don't need to, musicians as well, right? Fantastic musicians practice daily. They're on a commitment to self-improvement, getting better at their art. So please, 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 make a commitment. Make a commitment and stick with it. Write the goal down. Now, where's your commitment? The goal isn't the commitment. The goal is the drive for the commitment. That commitment comes from here. That commitment comes from here. How badly do you want it? I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. I really do appreciate the loyalty of everybody. Listen, help me get out there and reach other people. Please, please, please. It really helps me to reach other people. Don't let it stop at the few. Let the few spread it around to the many. So please, please, hey, commit, yeah? Make that commitment. If you're finding help out of this, commit. Watch it more often. Watch some more of the videos that I put out there. Commit to yourself. It's all about that positive progressive action. The PPA. The PPA. Remember PPA. Write it down everywhere. Positive progressive actions are what a commitment is. Moving forward, growing. Make it happen, guys. Hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Loving each and every one of you. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you in advance for passing me around and getting the word out there. Because there's nothing like building a good community of people that can network together too and help each other out. It's a commitment. Stay the course. Namaste.